Thursday, October 31st. The city streets are crowded for the holiday, even with the rain. Hidden in the chaos is the element, waiting to strike like snakes. But I'm there too, watching.
How many of us live behind masks? A mask of confidence, perfection, and hiding who we truly are. The problem with masks is when they become the norm, we lose ourselves in the process of trying to please others. The Batman opens up on Halloween, the one day where it's normal to be anybody but yourself. It's the perfect day to show how Gotham is a city of masks. After Batman gives his dialogue about being a nocturnal animal, we get a scene where it's implied a young boy is joining a gang, and to fully join, he must beat up a civilian. When you pay attention to the scene, everyone but him is fully masked, symbolizing that he isn't fully corrupted by Gotham yet. Batman breaks up the scene, beating the gang members, but sparing the boy. The reason I love this movie so much is because you can truly feel how dirty and grimy Gotham is, and everyone has a mask. Batman, the Riddler, government officials, and even Catwoman. Think of masks in pop fiction, they play a really big role. There's tons of iconic masks, but they're more than just cool costume designs, and they also carry a lot of meaning. For example, Darth Vader's mask is designed to intimidate and dehumanize, symbolizing his transformation into a machine of the dark side. His breathing apparatus represents his dependence of the dark powers to survive, as well as his loss of humanity. When you take a look at Michael Myers' mask, it's blank and emotionless. The mask suggests that beneath the surface, there's no empathy or reason, only terror. And my personal favorite, Spider-Man's mask, is both protection for Peter's identity and a symbol of hope for New Yorkers. The bright colors and web patterns emphasize his connection to his spider powers, but also, while the face is hidden, it allows him to be relatable. And this is super important because Spider-Man, along with everybody that has a closed mask, is an everyman hero, meaning in a lot of cases that anybody can be the hero. But just how anyone can be a hero, anyone can also be a villain. When we think of the Riddler's character design, the mask hides his full face. To me, when I look at it, its rough homemade appearance suggests that he is one of the city's overlooked citizens. He's wearing a military cold weather mask, and this military grade look allows him to be seen as a soldier of cruel justice. His design was also heavily influenced by the Zodiac Killer, which both make sense because they love giving riddles and giving clues. But I guess the central question is, why do we wear masks? Metaphorically and figuratively. Coming off of a pandemic, masks made a big comeback. Literally, they were everywhere. At the point, masks are iconic, often associated with diseases like the Black Plague or COVID-19. The pandemic has redefined the metaphor of mask wearing. Post-pandemic life has led many people to continue wearing masks, both literally and metaphorically, mainly as a form of protection, whether to guard against health risk or to shield themselves emotionally. But I do wonder, have you ever felt surprised when somebody removes their mask, and their face wasn't quite what you expected? This is called mask fishing, or a play on catfishing. You see, when wearing a mask, it can create a different perception of a person's face. With half of someone's face covered, our brains often fill in the gaps. This can create a disconnect between reality and expectation. When these expectations are met, we experience cognitive dissonance, a feeling or discomfort when the reality clashes with our assumptions. To handle this discomfort, people might dismiss it and label a person as mask fishing or just straight out ugly. This defense mechanism can help avoid awkwardness or admitting that they were just wrong about their assumption. And this was just one way I noticed that masks lowered self-esteem and raised anxiety. You see, in this film, Batman hides between two distinct masks, one being the Cape Crusader and the other being Bruce Wayne. At the beginning of the movie, he believed Gotham needs a symbol of fear and vengeance. It's fascinating to see criminals run from the mere thought of Batman lurking in the shadows, yet it's still not enough. You might wonder, why is Bruce's true identity a mask? It's because of his name. You see, Bruce is burdened by the realization that his family legacy isn't as clean as it was supposed to be. Somehow, his family name is connected to the crime lord Falcone. Something I also noticed is that when Bruce is not wearing the Batman persona, he's awkward and unsure in public. This is a far cry from the confidence usually seen in other depictions of Batman. And in those versions, Bruce Wayne is smooth and assured. But here, you can still feel that he's grappling with the dual life. The scientific phenomenon behind Bruce's actions is called grief masking. This occurs when someone hides or suppresses their grief and sadness, either to avoid appearing vulnerable or to protect themselves of their emotions. The emotional masking is a coping mechanism, but it can prevent healthy emotional processing and healing over time. Examples of this include pretending everything is fine, using humor to deflect, and engaging risky behaviors or overworking, as Bruce does in the film. As the story progresses, Gotham is in the middle of an election, and the city needs a new puppet. But it so happens that one of the mayoral candidates is murdered. Batman embarks on a detective journey, revealing all the different types of masks we see in Gotham. The politicians, police department, and even the DA are all corrupt, taking bribes and hiding Gotham's true colors. Enter the Riddler, another masked psychopath. I think the funniest thing about the Riddler's character is that he's an influencer, speaking and rallying all of his fans and supporters who believe in what he preaches. Did you know there's actually a term for when people drastically shift their personality on the internet, and it's called the online disinhibition effect. And it's just a tendency to behave differently online than in person due to lack of restraint. This can lead to people saying or doing things that they wouldn't in real life. This effect can actually manifest in two ways, called benign disinhibition, where people share more personal details, emotions, and aspirations, and this can help people connect with others to create a positive online experience. And then of course we have toxic disinhibition. People can act meaner than they would in real life, such as through rude language, criticism, anger, hatred, and death threats. This is sometimes referred as trolling or just dissing. You see, the Riddler is determined to expose Gotham's hidden truths, and there's two crucial moments that stand out to me. First, the notion that the Riddler will destroy you and your legacy, and that Batman is a tool for revealing the truth. One common theme in all the Batman films is that Batman is good for the city, or is he not? The Gotham government hides behind a secret mask, but what does it mean for someone like Batman to wear his in public? I think it means inviting other masked individuals into the light also.
You showed me all it takes is fear and a little focused violence. You inspired me. You're out of your goddamn mind.
The contrast between Gotham's elite, who wear a mask in secret, and Batman who wears his mask openly, and the Riddler's extremist use of his mask, highlights the struggle between the truth and deception. You see, the Riddler's mask challenges both Batman's and Gotham's corrupt government. He seeks to expose the truth, but his methods are violent.
58 seconds!
How much?
Nothing!
How much?
10 grand! 10 G's a month, I get a monthly payment just not to prosecute certain cases.
What cases?
You didn't ask me that, come on!
Showing that even in the pursuit of truth, it can lead to destruction when not balanced with morality. This rendition of Catwoman introduced us to Selina Kyle, who was searching for a friend last seen with the now dead mayoral candidate. You see, Selina's mask isn't just her persona as Catwoman, but it's also her family legacy being linked to Falcone. You see, Selina finds out that Falcone is her father, a revelation that was hidden from her whole life. She later finds out that Falcone killed her mother and also the friend that she was looking for. We quickly see Selina adopt a new mask, a one filled with vengeance. But you see, Catwoman's backstory is only one piece of the puzzle. Now let's discuss the character that ties everything together, the Riddler. Throughout the movie, Batman tries to understand how the Waynes are connected to Gotham's corruption, and when he does find out, it was because the Wayne family plans to improve an orphanage. But Thomas Wayne felt the need to hire Falcone to protect his wife's secrets about her mental health. Thomas Wayne only wanted Falcone to scare the reporter, but instead Falcone just killed him. Before Thomas Wayne could expose Falcone, both he and Martha were murdered. Their deaths caused the orphanage to stop being fixed, resulting in the orphans living in horrible conditions, and guess who was one of the orphans? Edward, now known as the Riddler. The length people go to hide their mental pain is scary, but rightfully so, because tons of people are scared of the shame you get for being called mentally ill or just struggling. Sometimes the most strongest people are striving with the mask they display to the public, but are slowly dying on the inside, and the Batman franchise, out of all, know this well. The behind the scenes of The Dark Knight reveals just how much deeply Heath Ledger embodied the Joker, a role he approached with remarkable intensity, despite his own personal struggles with drug addiction. Ledger single-handedly brought the Joker to life in a legendary way, immersing himself in the character so fully that his performance left a lasting impact on audience and film industries alike. You see, there's three strong parallels, three deeply connected orphans, and three people searching for their own sense of justice using a mask or an alias of their own. All three characters are shaped by the loss of their parents, but their paths diverge based on how they process that trauma and what mask they choose to wear. One thing I always liked about the Riddler's character is that he sees Bruce as an equal, two sides of the same coin, and that's what makes the ending so well put together. You see, in some ways, the Riddler is actually smarter than Batman in this movie, and we find this out in a funny way.
A rat with wings. You know what that sounds like to me? A friggin' bat! Huh? You ever think of that?
Colorado.
But in the final act of The Batman, it's one of the best climaxes I've ever seen. When Batman finally catches the Riddler, we get an intense interrogation scene. The Riddler is generally shocked when Batman fails to fully solve the last riddle.
You mean you didn't figure it out? Oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were.
The riddle was supposed to be a distraction, leading Batman on a wild goose chase, while the Riddler's final plan unfolded. While Batman was chasing clues, the Riddler's followers would be killing the new mayor and causing more damage. Riddler never expected the bombs to actually go off, so when Batman reveals in the interrogation scene that he didn't solve the Riddler is filled with joy. In that moment, he realizes that he's smarter than the legendary Batman he admired so much, and he laughs. He now has unintentionally won a bigger victory than he ever imagined. All he wanted to do was kill the mayor. With the city being flooded and Batman saving the people, we get a powerful scene with Batman literally lighting the way. Batman realizes that he needs to be a symbol of hope, not vengeance. and that he's played the vigilante for 2 years without improving Gotham's crime rate. He's still using a mask, but this time, it's a new one, representing hope for the city. This movie masterfully weaves together the themes of identity, trauma, and the mask we wear to navigate the world around us. Whether out of protection, fear, or a desire for truth, the mask we choose to wear reveal as much about us as they hide. For Gotham and for us, the question becomes, how long can we wear the mask before they become a part of who we truly are?